What's up, Facebook? Jordan Molson here with Local Social Live. I'll start out by saying welcome to the replay, because most of you are going to catch this after the live has ended, but you're going to need to watch this as if you're watching it live, moment by moment, comment by comment. So whether you're watching this live at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, or whether you're watching this 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at night, leisurely on the couch or the love seat or the whatever, watch this as if it's happening live. Comment, interact with me, share your thoughts and your opinions about what we're discussing here today. Ask your questions. I started saying this. Let me give me 1 second here. Let me make sure that audio is coming through loud and clear. That's always good. I've done that. I've made that mistake so far with this live streaming thing of starting and not checking audio and then talking for 5 minutes without any audio. So mistake so far with this live streaming. There we go. All right. So Local Social Live, Face Live Friday, episode number, I want to say 6. Yes, I always write it and then I forget it, but episode number 6. I'm hoping that I'm going to get some guests on today. I've shared this with a handful of people and haven't heard any confirmations yet as far as schedule and availability. So that's always a trick, especially with the timing that I'm having to do this for my schedule in the middle of the day. A lot of folks are either grabbing lunch or doing other things. So that may be a challenge. However, next week, next Friday on Face Live Friday, I do believe I've got a guest confirmed. I'm not going to announce it just yet, but she's a mompreneur and talking live streaming on Face Live Fridays. My whole goal was to bring in people who are doing it and doing it consistently, doing it well. And by well, I just mean doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect and polished, but I'm going to bring on a mompreneur. If there's anybody who has an excuse to not live stream, it would be a mom with kids in the house, right? Well, this mompreneur has not ever allowed that to keep her from live streaming. And we'll share our story of how we connected. So as long as everything in the mom world for her works out, she'll be live with me next Friday. And I'll be announcing that next week and promoting that so folks can come on and hear her story and listen to us discuss and talk about live streaming and the good things, the challenging things, and everything in between. So today on the show, let me make sure, I always end up getting ahead of myself on these shows. What we're going to talk about today is simply, so this show, unless I have guests that do show up live with me, this episode may end up being a shorter one because I want to talk about just one thing, and that is consistency. And this is something that I'm practicing myself and making the commitment to myself of consistency. So we're going to talk about specifically today consistency in live streaming and how a commitment to consistency in a live streaming format or a live streaming show could actually be one of the most important things you ever do for your business, or the most important commitments you could ever make to your business. And we're going to try to talk about that. Again, as always, I'm in the situations where I don't have hours to plan, or even a full hour to plan and strategize all the content that I want to discuss on the show. So a lot of times I'm just pulling things out of my hat. There we go, move the camera up a little bit. Pulling things out of my hat as the show, but that's live. So let's see if there's anything I want to talk about before I get into the rabbit trail today of talking about consistency. And really the overall title I think I gave this video was consistency for live streaming success. So again, I think that's one of the most important things, one of the most important success factors today in anything you're doing for your company or your brand or your business online is consistency. Setting a schedule for whatever it is you're doing and sticking with it no matter what. planning for it no matter what. And getting in the realm of the mindset and the attitude of like a news desk. Man, everything just seems a little off today. Sorry. Thinking about, ABC News, all the news shows, the people, the talking heads you see on all these different shows on TV, CNN, CNBC, Fox and Friends, whatever, all those different shows. They have a schedule to maintain, and but there's wisdom and there's success principles in that type of thinking. And I think a lot of businesses, especially local businesses, again, everything that I talk about here, I'm looking through the lens of a local business and thinking about how to apply it, what kind of a strategy to come up with for local businesses. And every local business, every business in general is specific. You get your own needs, your own schedules, your own demands. So everything's going to be a little bit different. I don't believe there's anything that's cookie cutter. So I'm just going to roll with it. Again, right now, this is fairly unscheduled. Not unscheduled, unstructured. It's just a talk show. And we're going to talk about all things live streaming today with consistency. So I want to start by saying this. One of the stories that has been on the top of my mind this week has been a story pertaining to Michael Hyatt, which if you don't know who Michael Hyatt is, you can just go to Michael Hyatt. It's Michael, Michael, HYATT.com. You can familiarize yourself. If you're watching this definitely on the replay, which you probably are, then I will link all the episode mentions and all the episode links that I discuss during the show. I will immediately link up below in the description once the live stream has ended, so you can have access to all those different things that I talk about on the show. But it's a story that has just concreted itself in my brain, and it pertains to Luria and David from Live Streaming Pros and Michael Hyatt. And I just realized that just a couple of days ago, they actually did a live show with Michael Hyatt, and I totally missed it. So one of the things I'm doing today or throughout this weekend is watch the live stream, and I'll link it here. I'll link it below in the description so you guys can watch it too. I can't wait to watch that show with them interviewing Michael Hyatt and talking about him and live streaming and all that kind of good stuff that he's doing. So I will share this. Sorry, my eyes I wonder if it's allergies or whatever. So I apologize. I'm going to be rubbing my eyes a lot today. They've just been bugging me this morning. I woke up and it's like somebody packed something in my eyes this morning. So the punchline, if you get nothing else from this show today, what I'm about to share with you should be enough for you to sift and chew on and think about for days and days. Now, Michael Hyatt, let me just pull up his site here so I can kind of give you just a plug right now so you understand. So I'm going to give him, as if he's on my show, I'm going to give him a little introduction here so you know who I'm talking about. If you don't know who Michael Hyatt is, I need to build up his credibility in your mind real quick. Otherwise, what I'm about to share with you is not going to have any credibility. So Michael Hyatt's a former chairman and CEO of a major corporation. He led Thomas Nelson Books for I don't know how long, but a long time. And now he's a virtual mentor to a lot of entrepreneurs and business people. So he shares his knowledge from being a CEO at a major corporation for years and years with the world. Let me see if he's changed up his site here. So yeah, it's the welcome. I don't want the welcome. I want to go to your site, Michael. There we go. All right. Well, he doesn't have any specifics. He just, okay, here we go. Michael Hyatt, former chairman and CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishers, 7th largest trade book publishing company in the U.S. He's worked in the book publishing industry for most of his career. Let's see what else. he was CEO from August of 2005 to April 2011. And he's run his own company since then, Michael Hyatt and Company. We're a multi-million-dollar online training company. So he takes his years of experience in the real world of business as an executive and shares those principles, those lessons, those stories with the world, and helps people implement those strategies, those principles in their life for ultimate success. So he's one of those dudes, I guess you could say, who practices what he preaches. So the story that's been on my mind that I want to share here today is one pertaining to Luria and David of Live Streaming Pros. I'll link them up here below, and Michael Hyatt. And I'm not sure if I have the story exactly correct, so I will disclaim that. But if I remember, as I remember it, the overview of the story is that Luria and David were doing their live streaming shows. Michael Hyatt was watching but not really interacting. They didn't really know he was there. And then he spoke up and said, I've been watching you long enough. I like you guys. You've built enough trust with me that I want to now reach out and hire you. I want to hire you to come and set me up my own live studio. So that's again, there's lots of details in the midst of that, but that's kind of the overview. And that's huge for me. I mean, that's just for everybody. That should speak. The big thing that I've been sharing this week for my personal brand that's been on my mind and my heart is your audience of one. Who's that one person that is watching that you don't really know is watching? But who's your audience of one that you need to be performing for and speaking to every time you're on stage? And you're always on stage, by the way. But who's that one person that you need to be performing for that could change your life? And I use the example this week of musicians. If they know that there's a record label executive in the audience, they don't know who it is. They couldn't pick them out of the crowd. They have no idea which one of those people in the crowd is the record label executive. But they know that that person's there. They, in their mind, are going to perform at the highest level possible for that one person. And by doing so, everybody else in the audience is going to get a better performance. So it's that with that mindset, as you're doing whatever you're doing, especially live streaming, we're talking about live streaming today, who's the one person that could be watching you? You don't know where they are. You don't even know if they're watching. You couldn't even put your finger on if they actually are watching or not, but they are. But who is that one person you should be performing for in your crowd that could change your life? So it's with that story that's just really stuck with me. So today, I just watched a clip right before I went live today with Michael Hyatt and Luria talking about Michael doing live streaming. So here are in a nutshell, the major benefits of live streaming that just came out of Michael Hyatt's mouth. This is why I can't wait to go and watch this show sometime this weekend. Now, I'm going to link the show up. I encourage you to watch it. But he did say, now Michael Hyatt's a guy who's done tons and tons of professionally produced video where you stand in front of a teleprompter, you do shot after shot until you get everything perfect and it's polished. It's top dollar, high dollar video production. That's the world he comes from. So live streaming is much different. And you would think that somebody who's used to that might shy away from live streaming, which a lot of people do. But he has said in crossing the bridge from polished, perfect, well-produced video into live streaming, that he's discovered some highly valuable things for him as a brand and his company. And here are the 4 things I wrote down. I think he shared about 4 or 5 of them. Number 1 is authenticity. There's no teleprompter. People get to see him and you and me, and people get to see you when you're live streaming. They get to see the real you. There's no do-overs. There's no backups. There's no delete button. Live is live. So it builds this level of authenticity with your audience. Your audience, so he was saying, speaking from his perspective, he was saying, my audience gets to see me as me, not the guy who can do 100 takes on a video to get it perfect, but they get to see the real me. And he said a lot of people realize that I'm actually kind of funny, like I joke around a lot, which you don't see that on a well-produced video. So he said it's taken the authenticity and the genuineness and the transparency that I have with my audience. This is Michael speaking. It's taken it to a whole other level that I didn't think possible. Because one of the major factors within that is because you can get real-time feedback. So as you're doing live video, he said, as I used to do a produced video, you never get the feedback till after everything was done. But when you're in a live video situation, live streaming situation, you get real-time, instant feedback from your audience that's watching and even the people that watch the replay afterwards. So because of that, it's a very relevant medium. It's relevant. It's in the moment. And that's what people are looking for these days, is people who are willing to get out from behind their polished, perfect little facade and be real with people. And that makes it a relevant, one of the most relevant mediums on the planet today. I'm going to take this down real quick. There we go. So, and because of all that, because it creates authenticity, because you're able to get real-time feedback and have a conversation, almost like a one-on-one conversation with viewers and your audience, it's relevant. And because of all of that, it builds trust like no other medium that he's ever used. And coming from Michael, who's used a lot of mediums, I mean, he's been on social for a lot of years, and he even trains people on social media. For him to say that, to me, it's huge, because he has credibility in my eyes, because I know him and I've been watching him for years on how he's built his own personal brand online. So for him to say that live streaming video builds trust between you and your audience like no other medium that he's ever used, that's huge. So how do you build that authenticity? How do you set yourself up with live streaming to receive that real-time feedback from your audience, your customers, your clients, your potential customers and clients? How do you become relevant in their eyes? And how do you build that like trust factor, that know, like, and trust factor? You do it through being consistent. Doing one live stream, unless you have a massive audience, which even people like Gary Vaynerchuk and even people like Michael Hyatt, who have tens and tens of thousands of fans or tens and tens of thousands of people in their audience, even they, when they go live, they only get a small portion of that overall audience live on with them interacting. So chances are you don't have that. So going live once is not going to produce authenticity, real-time feedback, relevancy, and the know, like, and trust factor. You've got this is where the key to this whole kingdom is consistency. Setting yourself up with a live streaming show, whatever that may be, consistently. I'm practicing, actually, for one of the first times ever. I do a lot of teaching, but not practicing what I teach, because I'm sharing it with other businesses and other people, and I'm busy doing things for other people that I've never really done it for myself. And I'm flipping that on its head. So for myself, I'm practicing when I'm preaching and starting this local social live show every Wednesday and Friday, no matter what. Come hell or high water, I'm doing it. And we'll see what the end of the story is. But I just have this really strong conviction that it's going to be really, the payoff is going to be massive. It's going to be really, really good. So let's talk about some examples of a show. So I'll use, just since I've already been talking about them for a couple of weeks now, and I'm looking at them. Let's see. I wish I could share the screen. I think that's still in beta with BeLive TV, which, again, to let you know, I'm using BeLive TV today. Well, you can see it in the corner up here on the screen. I'm using BeLive TV today to stream, and I'm probably going to maintain BeLive as my main live streaming source because they're improving things a lot. Right now, I'm using a talk show method where I could actually bring in up to 3 people total live on the show if people were coming on, but I'm not that popular yet. Or my showtime, I announced this way back at the very beginning that I may end up adjusting the showtime if it's bad for people, because I would rather, if I can, I would rather try to shift the time of the show so that I can make it more accessible for other people to join on, because I don't want this just to be me as a talking head on this show. It's not what the goal is anyway. But I'm committed enough that if that's what it has to be, that's what it has to be for as long as it takes until folks start chiming in and showing up with me. So, and I'm going to start doing outreach too. I haven't even started that. I'm sure if I was talking to 10 to 15 people a day, asking them to come on, I'd be filling slots for guests to come on, and that's going to happen. So back to the live streaming example. I'll just keep it right here just to keep it clean and keep clarity. Luria and David started live streaming pros. I don't even remember when, but it's been a while. It's been I want to say at least a few years, I think. At least in my perception, it's been a few years. So their brand, Live Streaming Pros, they started a schedule. I just had it up a second ago. There we go. Here, I'll just go ahead and put it up here. By the way, they're like, I don't know them. They're not like friends of mine. They're just people that I've seen. They're mentors. They're people that are doing something well that I'm watching and studying, and I'm emulating aspects of what they're doing into my own routine, my own schedule, my own production, because I mean, that's the key to success, is find somebody who's where you want to be and emulate them. Use them for inspiration, for lessons. So let's see. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. So I'm not sure how long they've been keeping this schedule. Let me put it up here. Live Streaming Pros show. There we go. So these are who I'm talking about. So if you can go check them out. And again, I'm going to link them up here in the show. I think they've talked about them every Friday so far. But their show, they have a set schedule. It's not scattered. It's set schedule. They go live They go live Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday and Thursday. That's their schedule. So I'm emulating that, and I go live as of right now every Wednesday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'd be 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and whatever the other ones are. So just that consistency sets you apart from the masses. It sets you apart from the crowd. And again, I'm talking to anybody, but specifically in my mind, I'm talking to local business owners, the chiropractors, the dentists, the pizza shop owners, the ice cream shop owners, the restaurateurs, the restaurant owners, all the CPAs, see who else? The massage therapist, the salon owners, the hairstylists, the nail salon people. There's so much potential and opportunity in live streaming for all these types of local businesses. It's sad to not see more people doing it. So creating a consistent schedule is one of the keys for success. Why? Because it essentially tells the world when you're going to be on stage. And sometimes most times, unless you have an established audience already, you just have to get up on stage and keep performing until the audience shows up. Because again, who's your audience of one? It only takes one person, that one right person, to show up and see you and then tell their friends about you to completely change your life. So going back to the example I started with Luria and David and the live streaming pros and Michael Hyatt, they were doing their thing, and then all of a sudden they realized that Michael Hyatt had been watching them, didn't even know it, until he spoke up and said, I've been watching you. I've been on, back in the shadows, but I've been watching you. I like you guys. I like what you're doing. I want to hire you. That has led, according to David, that has led to lots of other connections, lots of other relationships, lots of other business. So that stuck with me. David, I'm so glad you shared that. If David happens to see this, that's just so powerful for me personally. And I'm sure other people, it's going to hit you all the same way. Now, I experienced it. You're hearing it third hand or second hand, so it's not as powerful as hearing it from the source. But that's just amazing. So let's talk about application. I've been preaching this for a while. It doesn't have to be. So let's talk about a chiropractor. And I know my two examples typically are either a chiropractor or a pizza shop owner, because those are the two right now that have been closest to home. I've had some friends who have opened a pizza shop, and I've been telling them about live streaming and how to implement it for their pizza shop. And I've been telling my cousin, who's a chiropractor, and even some of his friends, how to implement live streaming in a chiropractic fashion, a chiropractic office. And it can be applied to any business, but it doesn't have to be a show like this. Like, I'm comfortable on camera. I'm not worried on camera. There's no, if you can't tell, there's no apprehensiveness. There's no apprehension in my being about getting on camera. My story with being on camera goes all the way back to junior high, when I was the guy. I don't know if your schools back in the day, some of you will probably, this will date me, I guess. I don't care. Back in the day, we had the morning announcements, and everybody across the entire school would turn on their TVs. The teachers would turn on the TVs in the classroom, and you'd watch like a 20-minute, 15-minute show called Morning Announcements. And I was one of those guys on that show, one of the talking heads on the show, giving the morning announcements to the school. So back then it was very nerve-wracking, knowing that you're showing up on TV and all the students throughout the school are watching you. That was a little nerve-wracking, but that's where it goes. That's probably why now today it doesn't matter to me. I don't, being on camera. So I know for a lot of people, that's a big fear. There's something there. Even if you've never been on camera, you're not comfortable on camera, that's a big deal. So I don't want to minimize that or belittle that in any way. That's a real fear, and that's very real. So you have to kind of get past that. I will plug somebody. If you hear people talking about this live streaming video marketing stuff, and you thinking of yourself getting on camera causes such fear that you'd rather, fight sharks and bears barehanded, then the person you want to start following and watching as your first step on the journey of getting yourself to the place where you could start getting on video and doing live streaming is a person named, what's her last name now? Molly. Dang it, I'm going to go find. Why does that always happen? It's like as soon as it needs to come out of your mouth, it's gone. What is it? Dang it, man. Molly Mahoney. So you guys look up if being on camera, the fear of being on camera cripples you, then you need to go on Facebook or probably Google her. You could probably find her. Look up, search for on Facebook, Google, wherever. Search Molly Mahoney, the Prepared Performer. I think is what it was. Yes, Molly Mahoney, The Prepared Performer. If you are watching this on a replay, the link is below in the description. Just click on it, go like her page, connect with her, and watch some of her shows. She's got a beautiful personality, just always bright and energetic. I love just watching her because of her personality and her mannerisms, the way that she presents herself. I love it. So her big thing is helping people with camera confidence. I've not taken any of her courses or anything, but she's got a course called Camera Confidence, I believe is what it is. But you'll go like her, follow her, and you'll see her talking about it. But she helps people get over their fear, or at least push through their fear of getting on camera. Now, I've heard people talk like Jeff Adams, who's big, who's an integral part of BeLive TV. I've heard Jeff Adams say, man, I've been on camera for years and talking live on radio and camera for years, and I still get a little nervous and fearful, if you will, before going on camera. So for people who are afraid of getting on camera, that fear may never go away. You may always feel afraid right before or about going on camera. But Molly Mahoney, I'm assuming from the testimonials I've seen from her, she helps people at the very least teaches you principles and things on how to work through that fear to actually get on camera. So that's helpful. So I wanted to give her a plug here. Let me go ahead and type it on here. Molly Mahoney, prepared. Should have done that a second ago. So go check her out if you have issues or fears surrounding getting on camera. So that was a big rabbit trail. So going back to the beginning where we're talking about local businesses and how local businesses can start leveraging live streaming. You don't have to be a talking head on camera like I'm doing. You don't have to prepare a speech. Man, my eyes. You don't have to prepare slides or a presentation. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. And that's where strategy comes into play. So for the example of, the two examples I seem to use all the time is for the chiropractor. Now, there are legalities you'd have to, I know if any patient, even if a patient's just going to walk by the camera on screen for just 2 seconds, it's always safe from a legal standpoint to have your patients sign a form saying, yeah, I don't mind if I happen to be on camera. Some people might not. So you would have to legally cater to those people to make sure that you respect their wishes. But in an instance where they're not going to be on camera, the camera's not going to be on their face and they have to talk in a camera, I would think that most people wouldn't mind signing a waiver if you just had like a fly on the wall type of camera to live stream. I think that most people wouldn't care about saying, sure, yeah, okay, you've got a camera going, that's fine. I don't mind if I'm on camera as long as I don't have to talk into the camera. Yeah, I'll sign that. So in that instance, if you can make that happen, then I would, for a chiropractor, set up, and this is specific to like an open floor plan type of chiropractic office. I guess you could do this in a regular chiropractic office where there's like structured rooms and you close the door and there's just the room with the doctor and the patient. I guess could be a little bit different, but stream just a static live stream, like a constant broadcast where people can tune in to your, local chiropractic Facebook page, see your live stream for the day or for the week or however often you want to do it, and be able to like get a fly's view of your practice, where they can, which would be awesome if you can work it out, where they could watch you as a doctor care for your patients. Again, that goes back to what Michael Hyatt said. That builds authenticity, especially for people who are either looking for a new chiropractor, they're familiar with chiropractic, and they're looking for a new one, whether they're new in a certain area or they've just had a falling out and they're looking for a new chiropractor, that's good. They can build that authenticity. They can get to know, like, and trust you from afar before they ever actually commit to coming in and raising their hand saying, I want to talk to you or I want to become a patient. They can see how you're going to adjust. They can see how your patients are happy. They get to see with no friction, with no fear, with no apprehension, a fly on the wall's view of you caring for your patients. That would be ideal. Especially ideal for folks who have never been to a chiropractor. Because if you happen to be a chiropractor watching this, you know the deep-rooted, crazy fears. Now, some of them legitimate. There are, just like any profession, there are some bad chiropractors out there who have tangibly hurt people. But if you're a chiropractor, you know that those people are very, very few and far between. So, especially for those type of people, though, who have never been in the world of chiropractic, it's a new thing, and they have those crazy fears that are very, very real to them. To be able to look in their area and see you pop up with a live stream of you taking care of your patients, for somebody like that, I mean, that's almost like a case closed. Like, if they can sit and watch you for a week and watch how you care for your patients, see how you adjust, see that no one's walking, see proof that no one's leaving your office in a wheelchair or on crutches because you snapped their back or something. If they could see that without any fear of you knowing they're watching, that's huge. That's huge. So something just as simple as that would go a long, long way. And to tie in my own social proof, I've shared this idea with a lot of people, particularly two young women, millennials, who said, oh my gosh, that would get my attention. And just their response, just that one response was huge for me. That, wow, that would get your attention. And that's all that business owners are looking for, is for people to pay attention. So if simply setting up a static live stream of your office, specifically for you taking care of your patients if possible, just that would get people's attention, especially the millennials, the younger crowd. And that's who you want to be catering to, because they're the up-and-coming market. Now, for a pizza place, the other example I've used, how to implement a super easy live streaming strategy where you wouldn't have to talk, you wouldn't have to prepare, you wouldn't have to worry about saying a dang word on camera. And that would be to simply set up a live stream camera, whether it be a mobile device or a streaming capable camera, setting it up to capture your pizza line, your pizza make line. And just stream during lunchtime, stream during your prep time before lunch, stream. The timing is up to you, whatever's best, but stream for a half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and just stream your pizza make line. Let people see you making pizzas. That's really easy. Again, these two girls that I said shared this idea with to get their feedback on, they were like, oh my gosh, I would watch that. Like, that would get my attention. That's super cool. I wish people would start doing that. That's awesome. So it doesn't have to be a pizza place. Restaurant owners, are you listening? Set up a live stream. You don't have to show your whole kitchen where you see everyone running around and making stuff and doing things. Pick one little frame. You see people doing this, however they do it. Pick one little frame of your kitchen, your make line, the oven, one little place, wherever you plate your food at, right before it goes out to be taken to the tables. Set up a live stream right there on your plate line so people can see the finished product of your food before it goes to the tables. That would get people's attention. And that's all you're looking for, isn't it? You just want some attention. So, but here's the thing. If you're going to do that, you need to do it consistently, not sporadically, consistently. So pick something that you know that you can commit to no matter what. Something that you can make the commitment to yourself and your business and your restaurant and your practice, and a schedule that you can commit to and make it happen no matter what. So if for restaurants, I always think in terms when I'm talking to a restaurant owner, well, what's your slowest day? What's your slowest time during the week? I would use that as your maybe. I mean, if it's slow and you don't have anything going on, going out the kitchen, that may not be the best time. But usually restaurants don't typically have completely slow days where there's nobody there. They usually have a fairly average day, and then there's one evening during the week or one lunch period during the week that things, for whatever reason, are just kind of dead. So what I would do, here's a tip for you, restaurant owners, in that scenario, I would live stream your previous meal session, whatever that is, before your slow session. So if you open at lunchtime and your Wednesday lunchtime, for whatever reason, is pretty consistently dead, then I would live stream your Tuesday night dinner rush so that it goes out on Facebook live during your Tuesday night dinner rush. And it's going to be seen live, streamed for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Even 10 minutes, if that's all you got, do it 10 minutes. Stream your Tuesday night dinner rush so that people see it live. And then it also will be replayed. It's residual marketing. So then the replay would continue playing after the live stream of your Tuesday dinner rush, and then promote it Wednesday morning, with a little special in the comments or the description. Here's our live stream from our dinner rush last night. Come in today, Wednesday, for lunch and get 10% off your bill, or get a free whatever. So that's just one strategy that you could use to try to fill some dead time in your weekly, meal schedule, whatever that may be. If same principle, if Wednesday night, for whatever reason, is your dead night, there's like nobody comes in for dinner for some reason, but your Wednesday lunch time is a rush, then live stream your Wednesday lunch rush, and then all afternoon just kind of be promoting your live stream from your Wednesday lunch rush and promote something for dinner. Because you can change the descriptions and whatever. So, and then you can create image. That's a whole other strategy, but hopefully you're getting some pointers on how easy it really could be to start implementing live streaming. It's not rocket science. It just takes commitment to consistency, actually doing it. Now, if you are somebody who is comfortable on camera, or if you're running a restaurant, in this case this example that I just used, if you've got staff, most likely, I've never been in a restaurant where there was just one person. So you have staff. So most likely you have somebody on your staff who's comfortable getting on camera. So in that scenario where you're wanting to promote your dead time on Wednesday nights because nobody really shows up for dinner, and you're live streaming your lunch rush on Wednesday lunchtime, have somebody once in a while just walk by the live stream camera and say, hey, this is Julie over at, ABC Lunch Sandwich Shop. We got a really busy lunch today, Wednesday night. I want to invite you, if you see this, come in tonight and get this deal. Have a good day. Go on about our business. And have somebody do that every, 5, 10, 15 minutes or more often. Have different servers do it. Walk on the live stream. Hey, this is Donnie. I'm a server here at ABC Lunchtime Cafe. Right in the middle of our big lunch rush for Wednesday lunch. But we want to invite you, if you're watching this, if you see the replay, come in tonight. And we got a Wednesday dinner special for, $10 off a family of 4 or whatever. It really is, but it's not going to revolutionize your business doing it once or twice. But if people know that every Wednesday they live stream their busy lunch rush and they give a special for their Wednesday dinner or their Thursday lunch the next day, it builds consistency, and people can count on that live stream, and then they start showing up because they've heard about it. And then when they start showing up, they start sharing it and commenting, hey, Bobby, let's go here for lunch tomorrow. Hey, that happens. That's how social media works. So hopefully you guys, whoever's watching this and sees the replay, hopefully you're getting something out of this. Just do. It's not hard. You just got to start doing it. So if you have any questions for me about this, comment below, message the page. You can message Local Social Live page. You can message me on my page, Jordan Molson. But I'd love to hear from you. I want to answer questions. If you have fears about starting this live streaming, tell me what your fears are, and let's work on them. Again, I want to give Molly Mahoney a plug. If you are in a situation where you need to be on camera yourself and you need to be kind of a talking head like I'm doing now, and you have that fear that you just can't get past it, I would encourage you to go watch Molly Mahoney, The Prepared Performer, and catch some of her Camera Confidence Live shows where she talks to people about getting confidence on camera and how to work through your fear and get on camera and become who you need to become. So I honestly believe that I've been talking and preaching it since 2009, 2010 when I got online and started doing all this media, internet stuff. Video is going to be the way of the future, and there's going to be a point in history. I don't know when it's going to be. It could be 10 years from now. It could be 20 years. It could be 50 years from now. I don't know, but there's going to come a point where, just like the phone books were staple, like if you weren't in the phone book at one point in history, nobody really knew about you. Like if they couldn't look you up in the phone book and find your number and call you and talk to you, you were kind of a dinosaur. Well, I'm confident that there's coming a time in the future where a business who doesn't have video, at least one video online for people to find, you're going to kind of be a dinosaur. No one's going to really want to come to you if you're so out of touch with the world that you can't even do video. You can't even be present online. So now's the time. If you're not using video in any way or very, very little, now's the time to take making the commitment to video seriously. And as Michael Hyatt has said, there's no other medium on the planet right now that creates so much relevance, authenticity, and the know, like, and trust factor for your audience and you than live streaming. Because they get to see you live. They get to see you in the moment. There's no polished scripts and fancy things going on. It's just you talking and connecting or showing them a fly's eye view of your business. So that's it for today. I talked. See, I told you I'm on camera. I can just talk and talk and talk. I say the same thing 100 different times, 50 different ways. So that's it for today for the Face Live Friday for Local Social Live. This is Jordan Molson. Yeah, I can talk. I'm tired if you can't tell. This is Jordan Molson signing off for Local Social Live, Face Live Friday. Tune in every week. As of right now, it's Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Wednesdays, it's our What's Up Social Wednesday show where we talk about kind of the broad spectrum of social marketing, social networking, social media marketing, and eventually we'll be bringing on guests to discuss those things as well. We put a local spin on everything we discuss. And then Fridays, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, is our Face Live Friday show where we focus just specifically on live streaming and how to implement live streaming no matter what your business is, but specifically if you're a local business. Next Friday, unless something changes, I should have a awesome mompreneur guest on the show, and I'm excited about that. And stay tuned next week. I'll be promoting that. If it turns into an absolute definite thing, I'll be promoting that next week and promoting her and hyping up the show because you want to watch. The reason I'm excited to have her on the show, and if it doesn't work out next week, she will be on the show at some point. So one of the things I'm excited about having her on for is she will remove all your freaking excuses for doing live streaming. Because she's a mom. She's got her kids almost all the time. There's no quiet moment. And that's what, I mean, that's just, she'll remove all your excuses. So tune in next week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, What's Up Social Wednesday show, and 12 p.m. Eastern Friday, Face Live Friday show. This is Jordan Molson signing off for Local Social Live. We will catch you next week. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe and have fun. See you next week.